The last week of the regular season and our last matchup for the evening as we go back to the Southeast region. High Point Esports playing up now against University of Central Florida and the Knights. Both teams need a win here to try to give themselves a little bit of separation from the bottom four and, of course, try to help their overall seeding as we head our attention and a lot of our conversation into what's to come, which, of course, is that big bad playoff bracket that we have yet to kind of see or talk about too much. First things first, how about this? High Point, this, I would say, has been the most tested they've been in their CCL careers, and they're not quite breaking out of the mold yet. They've been close a couple of times, but largely speaking, all the key opponents that they've played up against, they've fallen short again.
Yeah, that's kind of the big factor right now. Bit of a change up from what we're used to seeing overall, but I mean, these guys do have what it takes, I believe it. I mean, without a doubt, you still have, a great lineup with Sexton, Delvish, Brewing, and Cruz. These guys certainly can take over games, but we haven't seen it, so far this year. And this matchup is like a huge one for all the things that you listed, and just be able to create a bit of separation and just be able to get another one over on a team that could be potentially under you or above you.
Yeah, and I think just based on the common opponents that these two teams have played, you would tilt your, attention and some of your consideration towards favoring High Point. But still, there are some tough losses in there. The map 5 loss to Mox Cod isn't great, but they did also go map 5 versus James Madison, which is impressive. They also had a close match versus Newberry College. So, you win those 3 matchups, which were very winnable, obviously, if they go to map 5. Yep. You're all of a sudden in the top 4. So, it's funny how the cookie crumbles sometimes, especially considering that this is a very senior team. And I want to say this is the full team that came back from last year as well.
Yeah, that sounds right. But either way, definitely a team I think that can live up to more than what they've brought, but have to see it. On the other side, though, I mean, definitely an exciting team as well here. Central Florida coming on through here overall. This is a team that was putting up some big highlights that we kind of saw through the top 5s. They were looking really solid here, Alan. I'm excited to see if these guys can live up to everything we've hyped up with this long-storied roster on the other side.
Yeah, Chris, Dove, Epitome, Juju, again, all upperclassmen, all seniors. Their big notable wins come against Florida International, UTC, and their forfeit win they get versus Concord Esports. Their notable loss, though, is they lost to Alabama, map 5, round 11. And then everything else has essentially been one-sided, including losses to Full Sail Armada, Mars Hill, James Madison, and Newberry College, to name just a couple. So, yeah, you talk about kind of how the standings have formed between these two squads. This is a big movement matchup here. You win this one, you're in a much healthier position to stay away from that bottom 4, avoid that last chance qualifier playoff. You take a look at kind of where the success and some failures have been. High Point, I want to say we had the same conversation last year. Great in the respawn, very bad in the surge. That continues to be a little bit of a symptomatic approach for this year as well.
Yeah, no kidding. 8-4 when it comes down to the hard points, but 1-9 in the S&Ds. Do not like to see that. Not that it's, significantly better on the other side at 3-7 and 3-9 here between those two game modes, but ultimately, I'm kind of with you there. S&D has been a problem when it comes down for this squad, so having to put it together potentially in the map too. But the hard points, at least, is something that they've always been able to rely on here. So it's another one of those stories of, will the hard points go the way of the team that's better at hard points, and will the S&D go the way of the team that's better at S&D, and the decider and the control, it's kind of shaping up that way here. But, with the records on the other side, I feel like things could still very much go either way, kind of in the S&D control.
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, there's not a lot of convincing nature in these statistics, definitely without question, especially considering some of the losses and common opponents that they've played against one another. But that hard point record is definitely staggering, because what that says to me is that High Point is able to win hard points against some of the top teams in this region. But, 1-9 in Surge, all of their map 5s have been map 5 losses. So, that's their difference right there about being a top 4 team and being, fighting to stay out of the bottom 4 teams. It's kind of crazy how that all goes. Whereas on the other side, if the map 5 win that they were able to pull up against UTC, there is some sort of ice that's in the mix there. I would have to imagine, based on the record, they probably won both the Search and Destroys in that series, and then they had a Search and Destroy win versus Florida International. So, I don't know, hard to say for sure, but yeah, that 8-4 definitely gives you the intention that High Point is winning hard points versus some of those top teams that are in the region.
Yeah, it's a great sign. It's a really good look at, I think, what they could potentially become, right? Because sometimes teams really do have one game mode figured out, and when you do have something figured out like Hardpoint, and you can start to maybe dedicate a little bit more time to S&D, you can become very scary. But, sometimes there's teams that formulate that just, they can't put it together like in that game mode, and that could be because of, how certain players, want to play in S&D, or it could come down to not having, playmakers that, want to take risk in S&D. Whatever it is, I'm sure we'll get there and figure out, what's kind of going right, what's kind of going wrong. But that, I think, will be interesting. We'll take a look at the map set to see what we have coming on up here for us in the last best of 5 of the night. And we got ourselves some Embassy and Hotel and one Fortress there in the map for Alan.
Okay, I like that. We've seen every map besides Fortress tonight, haven't we?
Yes.
Nice. I feel like whenever we get a chance to cast, it's like we're only casting 2 maps all night, it feels like.
I know. And we never see map 5s.
Never. Yeah, that's true. That's a privilege reserved for people like McCormill, apparently. I feel like every time I watch College Cut, he's casting a map 5. I don't know. But the Embassy Hardpoint. Oh, how about this little switch up? Oh, production's messing with us, so we are going to get all the maps in the pool. Let's go. They were just baiting us.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most hyped you will ever hear casters get for Fortress Control right there. My goodness.
And there's no reason for it being because it's Fortress Control. It's just because we hit the bingo card of seeing every single map tonight. That's the only reason. Golly.
That's exactly it. Well, we'll see what happens when we get there. I feel like that leaves the control at least a lot more like 50-50, right? Like, you don't have to maybe win as hard early. Like, you can still bring it back, still rely on a round 5 defense, right? It's always in the cards.
We've seen it more times than I care to count, Austin, so you're not wrong. But double dose of Embassy to get us started here. Man, High Point could come out and really set the tone for this series. 8-4 in Hard Point. Embassy is the first map, which is one that you can absolutely take over on. I just want to see a good fight here. That's all I'm asking for.
Yep.
And a Fortress Control. Apparently I'm here for that too.
I guess we both are. But let's get into it. Embassy Hardpoint. I mean, Embassy Hardpoint's the kickoff series. You cannot ask for a better start. Always I won't set the tone early, but usually a close affair when it comes down to the maps. But with the way High Point have been playing this game mode, it might not be. Have to see what the Knights are going to be able to bring out here in the Hardpoint to kick it off, Alan.
You ever look around the map cinematics and, like, do you ever wonder, like,
look
what?
Outside the map.
You look outside the map? Okay.
Yeah, see what's going on out there, you know?
I always look at the finer details. Like, I wonder what the graffiti that's spray painted on the walls says, like in Arabic.
Oh, I didn't even know there was graffiti on this map, by the way.
Oh, it's all over the place.
I don't look at the walls, I guess.
And then there's coffee shops. It's promoted as Jamaican coffee. I'm wondering if they have any Blue Mountain coffee in there, which is like the famous, like world famous Jamaican coffee. These are things I think about. I don't know. But I do want to know what the graffiti says. That's all I want. That's all I want in life. What if it says like hot dogs are a sandwich? Like, what if that's what it says in Arabic?
We'd never know, right?
We'd never know.
I like it. But solid start for High Point, at least initially. The Knights able to get a little bit of time back as we start to look at this PT rotation, and they are set up for it, but some of that top control being fought for. Texan doing a good job of being able to find the first, might be able to turn it into a second, and he does off screen. Now we'll see if they can pour in the pressure here on the initial setup.
Dove is just hoping for something. Dove? It's gotta be Dove. Sexton in the map. In the hard point, rather, I should say. On 3 in a row, 5-1 to start his map. Stuns, nades towards his teammate. Careful there. Maybe right on the cross. Nice shots over the top. At least get some damage in. Help from Kruzris behind him. And High Point have not allowed UCF to even touch the zone at this point. Finally, Sexton feels like he's confident enough to make the move forward. And while the help is immediately here, trying to swap weapons will finally take him off of his spree, but High Point comfortable on the hill.
Yeah, look at the control. I mean, you can see Brewing kind of on your screen there in the minimap. He's just been holding mid this entire time. And he's like, listen, no one's hitting old. Let's start to rotate. They've already set up new. We'll get caught down low. This Dove will be able to pick him up, but Sexton's also able to get himself into a nice forward position, maybe come up the ladder and potentially take a bridge route, or maybe up the stairwell. We'll see if he can try to make a big play. Catches great timing here, and he's going to lay in a little extra bullets as well. Does he get the second? He will not, but Dove's going to have to hold the line. His teammates spawn out.
Yeah, Brewing right over the top. Ooh, Epitome actually cuts him down just before he can make his way up the ladder. Juju in the hard point. Decent shots to Sebi, but not enough to finalize the kill. So servers will open up. Bit of a 50-50 battle. Chris over the top. Well done. Gets 2. A lot more to go, though. He's got a player up the top of the ladder, which he gets a solid read on. But the focus is just continuing to be spread all over the place. Must have had a couple of helpful shots from Juju, but regardless, impressive as UCF have a chance to finally get into the hard point. Still going to be contestable. Those high point make their next move, and they will break for the scrap time. 27 seconds are going to go their way as UCF are nowhere to be found to try to follow up.
Wow, I don't think I've seen an animation cancel like that with a dolphin dive unless it's like on like a ledge or on some kind of terrain, but he just turns and snaps so quick. Good moment for Chris maybe to try to catch some fire, but all the points just about going over to High Point Esports here as you need to hold on to a bit of a setup. They've been great at rotating first, but haven't been great on holding the initial time. Now that Brewing's kind of working through this top area, could get scary fast, but Juju with some good patience could get behind the play, and he's good for one.
Let's get traded out, though. That's High Point now with numbers, trying to flood on in. Need to put together the response. Dove, nice read, but once more, it's High Point who break through. The Knights looking to come right back into the mix. Chris able to take down one, but Brewing all of a sudden with his trade is looking for streaks and all shut down just at the last second. UCF back into the hard point. They've got spawns. Cruz looking to block. Avoids a lot of the nades, but cannot get away from Chris. And with that, UCF looking good for the back 30.
Finally, a moment where they actually locked down the hill. High Point got it initially, but haven't found another window to break this one open. Just kind of running in, seeing if they can try to make a big heroic moment. Not going to happen. It's shut down, and now rotation going to be forced. So great moment there at a UCF. Bring it back and make sure this one is not out of reach early. But now that we see High Point set up first, they got a lot of sub-presence down low. We'll see if they can hold on. It's an unfortunate teammate, but Chris makes up for it as he'll find one, and he's got help with him.
That's big, because now you've got control of Orange, you've got control in and around the front side of Laundry, and you've got a player who's pushed out into Dove who can try to watch for this hit through the main entryway. Good read, though, for High Point. Juju deleted. It's still taking some time on the setup. Chris gets one, trades, though. Oh, unfortunate teammate once again coming in, but Sebi reads the spawn and then tries to take his attention into the hard point, but UCF the whole time will hold, and what a little clawback this has been over the last two hills.
Yeah, this has been wild here from them, getting just a great look here at some of these opening engagements. And they're doing a great job of holding on to the time. Chris on 14 and 10. Juju comes behind, able to clean up two more players there. And yeah, this is now the lead swap coming through for the Knights. So we talked about how good High Point were at hard point, but this has been an insane back-to-back kills as the Knights now in control.
Yeah, really good stuff here from UCF. Shots over the top. Get at least one player on the exit. Dove is going to get the last second and a half there, no worries. Brewing up top, trying to find a response to Epitome, who's deep in towards paper. Trophy to keep him safe. Semtex down low. Whoa, my goodness. Absolutely destroyed as Chris just throws two bullets his direction from the low ground, and that will be enough for UCF to earn even more time.
Yeah, it looked like he just got shotgunned there. Like,
for real.
Epitome's still up top here. He's got a lot of time being soaked up, and we'll be able to keep them off the time as well. And that's now 5 for him. Might be able to earn himself the streak. And streak will come right to him, really. So we'll find 6 in a row. Still has this top presence, and he's just making sure all this time is going neutral while UCF still hold this slight lead.
Well, UCF will be needing to break through this P2 as High Point will clear out the staircase, win the backside of Vans, and also clear the hallways. Nice moment here from the Panthers. Needed it, too, if we're being honest, because that was 3 pretty dominated hills by UCF to get them not just back into the game, but to grow a pretty sizable lead. Sexton around the back. Doesn't need to take down Chris, so he can go on his merry way to cut back through mid. Brewing over the top, just looking for shots on heady-to-heady battle. Goodness, clean shots coming through. Juju over towards Xbox. No need to chow that at the moment, but as he gets the regen, sure, why not? If you're going to give it to me, I'll take it. And the first 30 seconds are earned up very cleanly by High Point with now a trophy to try to hold on to the back 30.
They're dangerous when the ARs are set up first, and you can see it. I mean, those P2 hills, that's where High Point have basically gotten the majority of their time, but talk about that win there from Sexton. He's not going to be able to push all the way up just yet. Nade's also, I think, going to tag him up. And Dove's going to be responsible for cleaning him, and he will be there to finish him off. So they do a good job. Get some bottom orange control, but they do lose the lead. And now they're forced to try to have a response here on P3.
I mean, yeah, that was about a full 60 right there from High Point.
Yeah.
And the whole threat coming around the back is not easy to deal with. No one's looking at this back alley at the moment. So even though you've got orange control and you've got players on the hard point, you have to make a play like that. No, it's such a heads-up timing call by Juju. Drops from ladder, finds the kill along the back, but in the meantime, Sexton from middle, oh, just cuts up the orange staircase. Epitome last one standing. It's Sebi for the trade, and that will be now 3 in a row for Sebi. It's a nade who finally takes him out of the hard point, but job done largely for High Point as they can still walk back onto the hill.
Oh, no trophies, though, so have to kind of just bob and weave off of the hard point. You can see it, the double nades over the top. Allow the entry for Chris to come up the ladder. He's good for one in the point, getting a read maybe on the next as he just fires through, but Sebi right back in, trying to do his best to get the 15 seconds that Brewing now will have to back up for. As you can see, some of that positioning from top office, just keeping them at bay, just trying to force a tough read on this rotation. But 170 to 156, it's High Point back in the driver's seat, but can they break back into office?
Well, it's going to be a double-folded hit here around the side and the back. Juju nearly didn't win that gunfight. That would have been a critical miss, but UCF still able to stay alive. 4v2 in the hard point, though. Reinforcements are on the way, but they're being cut through mid. This is a heads-up play here by Dove, just getting out of there. Maybe try to clear a little bit of space. Cruise missile locks in for one, but ultimately, High Point still in the back and with the hard point to their name, have gotten the break and have survived through the streak. Cruz able to help follow up with his now second kill. Juju's nade will push him away, but trophy system reinforces, and now High Point can really blow the lid off the game.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit staggered right now. You're seeing them come in one by one. Huge win. Was able to find yet another here for himself. Put him on 3 in a row, and just about all the time is locked in. So that's a tough one, right? Knights had themselves some good high ground positioning, able to stop that rotation from initially coming through, but don't have the numbers and don't have the trades convincingly enough to hold on. And now Brewing just starting to work through the back, seeing if he can pick off some lingering players through the outside as they start to collapse. 214 to 166. Knights got to have it.
Yeah, and the Knights are again just a little bit too turtled up here. Nice clearance from Chris around the back. Cruz going to try to contest them from the inside, though. It's Dove holding with Epitome, and they've done actually very well to hold on to this hard point. Chris, little finesse with the heady, eventually just keeps the trigger held down, wins the fight, and the Knights will get the first 20 seconds. And now they're starting to get a little bit of separation from themselves and the inside of the hard point. High Point going to be tested here in this break attempts. Trophy's denying a lot of the nades on both sides. High Point looking to stack. A lot of it coming through Coffee. And how about it? Juju gets a read into the first. Denies the trade. Follows up with a second. But Sebi gets in for a couple. Not enough to take UCF off the hard point, though. Follow-up has to be here. Epitome on to 3. Gets a shoulder read, but it's Cruz who gets the back 13 seconds. Or does he? Trophy system takes him out. And High Point will commit one more member to make sure that last 8 seconds is soaked.
Yeah, Sebi comes in. He'll make sure he gets it as he just watches the trophy obliterate his teammate. But close game, man. Knights are not out of this by any means. Just 13 seconds separating the two. Have to imagine a lot of this P1 time will likely go neutral. But with that kill there, that could open up a chance to try to soak up some time.
Why?
But it's an aggressive chow. And Brewing will punish him for it. And now you've lost that top presence. And you can see High Point trying to fight for some of the time.
Yeah, it's tough scenes right there. If you control that top window, you're pretty much in a position to make sure UCF never gets to the hard point. But how about the clearance out of the subs? Sexton and Sebi have been all over the map. Cruz is trying to control top admin, and uh-oh, now things start to get dangerous for UCF. You're going to be spawning all the way on the north side of the map. You've got 20 seconds. You still have to challenge over to P1 and win the spawns, the 2. It just has to be perfect. Whatever it is, it just needs to be clean.
Has to happen here from Juju, and Juju can't put together more than one. If so, maybe he spawns them all out there by the back of P5, and there's a chance to get numbers there and get set up first, but not looking good here. 7 seconds for the win. Dove under pressure, under fire, can't get anything done. Epitome from the back. Have to do it with Juju. Nade stuns all flying over the top here. Trophy system's now down, protecting them from anything that will fly over. But kills need to be convincing, and this backstruck head he needs to be held on to, but Epitome's going to drop. Now a chance for Dove to try to get in here from the side. It's looking good. The Knights are hanging on as they clear off High Point.
You can't do anything too screwy, though, if you're UCF. You've got a really good setup here with Epitome watching the cross. Dove is the first point of contact, and you did have Juju watching from length, but now Epitome has to clean things up, and he gets cut down from behind. Oh, it was looking so good until it wasn't. 246. Juju has to clear and get on. Gets the first 2, but the third was just too elusive. Man, the setup for UCF was solid. Yeah. But High Point just have one member lurking through tennis, cleans up that mid-crosser, and then from there, just too much resistance to deal with.
That was a heads-up play. Whoever took that route through tennis to know that, listen, someone's almost always cutting the map. And a great read, and wow, almost a 4-piece there in the best play of the game. But man, oh man, High Point, they hang on. They get that back parking lot spawn, and they're able to flood on through, and man, the ARs were firing. That P2 area, I mean, that's where they got a huge amount of their points throughout that game. Like, just about, back-to-back full 60 through the first couple of sets, and then, they end it there as well on the final rotation. So that P2 hill was everything for them, and they really did lock in a lot of time there.
Man, there was that stretch where you thought UCF was about to just take over the map, though.
Yeah.
3 straight hard points. It was looking real solid. And then, you had that critical mistake from, I think it was Brewing up top, who just got too aggressive, trying to challenge through a paper window. It's like, wait a second, you just open up the door here for UCF to walk into P1. But that last little stretch, fighting tough at long range, nearly allowed an advantage, but UCF setup foiled by a single route hit through mid. What a tight affair this was, though, and this is in the face of, at this point, Brewing is 22-16. He's all over the map. Chris is able to get back involved, and UCF nearly put it together here at the end.
For the overall record differential in the hard point, it's a lot closer than I think I was expecting coming in here for them. They played a lot of really good hills. They had a couple of great transitions there from like that office hill into P5, and P5 really was an issue for High Point. They struggled to actually find successful breaks. So putting together maybe, a couple more hills here on the map could have been a different outcome, but just about 20 points separating the two. And Juju, I mean, he almost got the third to get him off the time, and something magical could have played out for us here, but can't feel too bad about that. Just losing by a bit, and you see the performances coming on through without Sebi, and Brewing, Sexton all having the highlight plays that they did with some of the non-traded kills that they had. Might not have even been a closeout.
Yeah, it's very true. 23 out of 28, 26 out of 31, 14 out of 16 for Cruz. Just came down to, if he won a gunfight, he was winning it. If he didn't, he wasn't. Easy John Madden commentary there. Yep, math is good on that one. Okay. Boy, tight one, that's for sure. And you're right. I mean, we've had 2 of those matches now where we've had one team very favored based on record and hard point, the other not, and the map is close.
Yeah.
Okay. Throw out the numbers. We don't care about them anymore. Just kidding. We love the numbers. Give us.
You saying that? I was gonna say, that's not real life.
I'm a slave to the statistics. It's the way it's always been. MSC Search up next for us here in map number 2, and this is where things would hopefully start to turn here for UCF. Find a way to really punish this High Point team that's been pretty poor in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Let's talk about the statistics, right? Like 1-9 in S&D, like that is, a little bit baffling. I think when you look at a team that is so well-rounded when it comes down to what we've seen out of the hard points, 9-4 overall record after that win, like that is something they've been able to at least build off of. But S&Ds have just always been a problem for this team. And you got to wonder when they can finally overcome, or at least maybe, put together just a couple of wins, even versus like the bottom teams, right? Like they're losing versus everybody right now. So I think that is a bit concerning, and you're right in saying like this is where you have to capitalize. There's no, ifs, ands, and buts. Like you have to win this S&D, I think, in my mind, and just do not let them pick up any steam. Just shut these guys down. Try to come out a little bit hot, and if you can play like you did in the map number 1, then you try to tie this one up going into the Fortress control.
Yeah, man. Okay, that's the frame up. Give us the gameplay. We want it. I think we're at a point, though. I will say that. Again, I expect that this High Point team is going to play better Search than their record may suggest. Just based on how the script has gone throughout the evening so far, it almost feels that's par for the course. So, will we get that? Hard to say. But I think we could probably expect some sort of craziness to occur. Because the Search and Destroys today have been unpredictable, to say the least.
They have been.
Either the right reasons or the wrong reasons. So, we're going to get one of those 2 elements. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, it was just crazy sniper plays in the hotel search earlier. Just a lot of crazy things in the last one. Yeah, who knows what we're going to get here for another Embassy Search and Destroy, right? Sniper plays might come back out. But, yeah, this is one of those maps where if you're really bad at S&D and you're coming into an Embassy, like what are your attacks going to look like? I'm not worried about what the defensive rounds are going to look like. But, what are they planning to do potentially differently? Or, like I just want to know what's going wrong, right? Like 1-9 from a team that's so good at hardpoint. Like what could possibly going wrong? Like, are we not closing out our number advantages when we create picks? Are we just not getting the bombs down? Are we waiting too long? Like, this is a map where you are really pressured to make a play on the attack. You have to cross. You have to, put yourself in a spot to get this bomb down. And that's typically running through sights of your opponents to be able to make something like that happen.
I wonder if it's one of those situations where it's like, is it just all aim, no brain? You know, one of those things where you're just like running and gunning, and that's just all you know.
It never stop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that's weird about that though is like, again, like these guys are coming back for another year together, and this is a High Point team that has been very competitive over the course of the last couple of seasons. So we'll see. But it looks like we are possibly dealing with some tech issues, so we're gonna toss to just a quick break, and hopefully we'll be back without too much delay here for map number 2. Don't go far. Welcome back. We're jumping on into map number 2. High Point currently up 1-0, but a tight affair here on the Embassy Hardpoint. And now that I'm looking at the cinematics more, is that just paintball guns on the sign right there? Like,
is that what it was?
It's not blood splatters. It looked like paintball stuff. But spin me for first blood as we get into it.
First blood, and I think he takes a lot of shots from his teammate there as Sebi trying to line up some shots, and he gives up the angle maybe at the wrong time, but also wants to avoid the nade. Will retreat, should allow a bomb plant to potentially come through. 3v3 now on the retake for High Point.
A lot of this is going to have to come from number 6 and Cruz, you'd think. These two players on top, not in a good position to do much at range, and as Cruz is shut down, now you have to force it on in. Oh, from the top rope. How about that from Sexton? Sebi. Nade kill onto Epitome. Now it's just onto the snipe off. Oh, and Sebi gets hit markered. But on the bomb for the defuse, Chris can't see it. Oh, it's all pain.
Kenny?
It's all pain.
Oh my goodness, man. I feel like I need some like slow motions from those 2 sniper shots from like either POV. Like the first one, hit markers them, which is brutal. And I think he has that one lined up, but the flinch actually allows the shot, I think, to go over top of him. And then the same thing happens where I thought he had a look underneath the truck there to play the clutch spot, but the shot maybe doesn't come through before the defuse does. Wild first round. S&D has been wild with college COD today. I'm here. That's just round 1.
Yeah. We may have 10 more of those.
Here for it.
Hard hit from UCF right through mid. Oh, but it's cut down. Brewing just kind of pokes out through bathroom, secures the first blood onto Chris. Trade is in, though. Brewing will drop on his exit over towards the backside of Tree. And now it's Sexton looking for maybe a weapon here as he's just going to heady the box. Cruz. Oh, his timing is either great or terrible. It's going to be great. Fractions away from Epitome, just catching him by surprise, though. Now the bomb carrier seems to be thinking about maybe an idea of flexing back over towards A, but will instead commit. And this is a post plant that's going to be really just built for Sexton, honestly.
Yeah. Very much is going to rely on him to kind of get some kind of a check or come around the back. And he is now in a position where he probably doesn't have to do anything. As Juju's going to have to maybe back up. Actually wins the battle, but he's 2 HP. Trade will be there. Good look there for Juju, but all of his teammates drop around him, and High Point respond with a pretty decent attack here to go up 2-0 early. So far, at least looking solid.
Yeah, really solid. I mean, the first one is just simply the fact that the sniper rifle battle just takes too long. This one here is just a bold post plant that works out due to timing on the kills through mid-map. So, still tight, though, even though it's 2-0 up. Epitome's off to a pretty solid start for the Knights, 3-2. You have to wonder if there's going to be any more snipe antics in the mix. Looks like Chris has got himself attacked this round, and it will be a hard hit for the Knights. Straight over towards B. Brewing is watching this. Nades will connect. Tack kill will come through. Sebi follows up. Oh, boy. That's the round. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Just the no trophy system into good nade placement. Basically stops everyone from getting across. Weakens them up. Makes it easy. And Epitome, just about 15 seconds in, is like, oh, I got to find all 4. Good luck. Have fun.
Yep. Important on to have fun element, though.
Yeah, you got to have a little fun in these moments. You know, it's probably doomed, but you gotta have a little heat check or something, you know?
Yeah.
Right here, maybe. Your bid. Heat check him.
I don't think you saw him. Baits the sound cue of the door. Maybe catches sound cue of his own on the glass break. Well, give us something, Epitome. I mean, come on.
Chow something, you know?
Just chow something, because now it's a 1v4 and 30 seconds, and, well, okay. That's what he gives us. Poor form. I'm just kidding. Jokes. Just jokes.
I mean, not really much to say in that round, right? Just the pre-nades.
No
trophy system, I guess you could argue and say that, you know, could have probably had one down, or if not, then you have to wait for the nades to come through and then do a delayed hit. You know, you have to go about it in those two ways if you don't want to have a trophy player, or at least dedicate a trophy to it. So just kind of allows them to come out with some easy free picks as they just surge through mid, and now Sebi is going to bring the scope back out here for us.
Yep. I like it. Nade over the top. Sniper up. Chris, nope. Where do you think you were going? Nowhere's the answer. Good trades, though. Again, This is on the opposite side of the map. UCF. Get us to a 2v2 and the bomb carrier's down. Sexton's going to hit the exact same route that he did last offense, though.
Yep.
And this is trouble. That silence is in. Gets the first. Doors open, and I believe that was Sebi who gets the snipe off right there. Or somebody. I don't know, but he died quick.
We might be on par for another high point win in the S&Ds. I don't know. It's just looking a little likely here. 4-0 up at the moment.
Yeah.
Have not really seen anything on the other side. And now Sebi has a chance to work for streaks. The scope is hot, so you have to worry about that. I mean, they've matched it in round 1. You want to risk matching it here in a round that you need, I guess, is now the next question. But it's been a little bit problemsome. Dove, Chris, yet to get involved. We saw that aggressive route from Chris that wasn't followed up by anything. So not a whole lot of, I don't know, synergy, I would say, coming through right now for the Knights in a lot of their rounds.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I mean, the ideas are there. It's just, I don't know.
Execution, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. First blood for Chris. That's on a forward defender of Brewing. Now Juju's through. This is a recipe for an A plant right here. Absolutely. Yep. Get the bomb down today. Snipe out from Chris. Not going to work out. Sexton all of a sudden has opened up the back. But you should still be planting the bomb here at A. But UCF are holding their breath just a touch and waiting for the next kill before they commit to anything. And this may cost them because Cruz is around the back and there's your bomb carrier down.
Oh, and he gets away, and so does Sexton.
No.
And Juju doesn't back up for him, but he does at least fine because of the back. But Sexton's position, I mean, he has a chance to isolate. I don't know if he's going to get a sound cue, but he's going to definitely spot him. Dead Silent's about to come up now for him. And the timing here could work out well. He knows where Epitome is. He's going to know that Juju just came off of the bomb, but the gunfight not going to go his way. And the Knights finally get themselves a round.
They got out of dodge there, though. I'll tell you, that was not looking good for a moment. And when you were to take just a screenshot of the mini-map, at one point in time, when you get that kill into Brewing, you get a follow-up through mid-map, you had to be thinking plant for sure at A. You don't really need anything else. I mean, you've got the long lines caught. You've got mid caught. Really nowhere else for high point to be, and they nearly still gave the round away. So 4-1, UCF on the board. Dove still looking for their first kill. But it feels like we're in for more than just 8 rounds or 7 rounds of search and destroy here. UCF looking to get aggressive through mid, not going to have any defenders over towards A. And Sexton this time is the bomb carrier, so don't expect him to be doing anything too crazy with those mid routes.
Now just kind of one defender coming back over to A to see if they can at least get some info on what the game plan is right now for high point. But Sebi's just been patiently sitting back here on the truck, seeing if someone will just give him a peek, give him an angle. But bomb, I think, should be watched there from Juju's position. I think he's just right around the wall, but Brewing, how about it? Finds himself a great nade kill. That's going to now force the hand of Chris to try to get some information, but he might be way too late to this play. Everyone's just surging right into A right now.
He may still get Brewing for free here, which is an opportunity for him to wrap. Pistol out for Sebi. Goodness, just trying to find himself a weapon. He does get traded. Bomb planted. Sexton. Oh, Juju just reads it. Well done. And now it's Cruz. He's got 2 things to worry about. Technically 3, but he gets a free one onto Juju. Now he knows for a fact that Chris is right behind him. So repositions. Gets away from the Semtex, if only just barely. And now it's just a little bit of a dance with the devil, if you want to call it that. But it's all headies, brother. Just snake it like you make it.
Plays the last battle perfectly, but talk about the movement there on the transition. You could even almost see his decision making in the moment there. It's do I hop up on the van to try to catch him off guard, or do I back up? And just the reaction to then follow up with a dolphin dive as he backs up, knowing the nade is coming over the top there, or maybe getting a sound cue as it's in the air, whatever it is. Make sure he stays alive and then just works the heady. My goodness, that's a 1v2 you'd love to have back. One you needed there for the Knights. Could have honestly played the difference with back-to-back rounds, but Buzz just comes through and just completely demolishes all of that momentum they had building.
Man, that's tough. But now a quick commit to a B plant, and High Point are looking for the quick flank route. Okay, well, that's not bad. Chris gets the first one up top, but cruise missile's called in. It connects. And, well, now it's just down to Chris. He is a million miles away from this defuse, and he knows it. Well, that doesn't look like a team that's only won a couple of search and destroys, tell you that much. Clean stuff here. And how about Cruz? He had a kind of a slow hard point. He was massive here in the surge.
Yeah, he had a lot of assists in the hard point, didn't have a whole lot of kills, but he was getting a lot more work done here in this second map, without a doubt, man. It was so clean, I would say, coming on through here for these guys. A lot of these rounds, you know, clutching up. I think the round one sets the tone, right? Like that hit marker, I think it was Chris, really unfortunate. But, you know, from that point on, you could really see them capitalize, and tough scenes. Dove can't get involved whatsoever here. Finishes 0-7, joins the agency. Tough scenes when you don't have a fourth member kind of getting involved on the map, especially with just about all the members on the other side firing there for High Point.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's another thing to be said, I think, about the quality of this High Point team. Even though their record may not reflect great search and destroy, you know, it's only a matter of time, it feels like, before this team can start to kind of click and figure things out. And we saw a couple of set plays in there. You know, you're talking about Sexton's offensive hit through mid. That worked out nicely. Sebi with the sniper rifle worked out pretty nicely. It just felt like UCF was a little bit late to kind of read what High Point was trying to do. And then a couple of these rounds could simply be determined by literal timing things. You know, no trophy, nades go down, Chris trying to go for an early route, snipers watching it. Like, those things are not predictable. And that is a lot of Call of Duty Search and Destroy in a nutshell, where it's some of these rounds are just going to be lost because of sheer timing things.
Yeah, that's a factor. They're also their set nades over the top in some of these opening rounds were also completely on point. You saw them like stuff a couple of, you know, offensive pushes completely to B, and just good work, understanding where they could blow up some of those trucks even over by A, just trying to see if they can pick them off. So very well done, man. I mean, I think it's just a surprise, you know. I mean, as much as, you know, I'm not surprised they won. I'm surprised they won in 6-1 fashion while having a 1-9 S&D record, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right.
It's insane to see them turn it around like they did, and I mean, led by the man that you said. You know, Cruz has a heck of a game here at 11-3.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely the right way to put it. It's just, you know, 11-3 is an incredible matchup. Sebi with 7, 5 of them not traded. A lot of that coming with a sniper rifle. That's pretty unbelievable. Lots of good stuff here across the team for High Point, which is something you want to see if you're looking for this High Point team to get involved and put themselves into a position to possibly be a playoff contender. Because I'll tell you, man, the stuff that we're seeing from the top, we'll call it 8 teams right now, you have to clean a lot of stuff up here if you want to compete against those guys. And High Point has. You know, in their own region, the only time that they lose to good teams have largely been off of map 5 things. So you fixed up your search and destroy, and like we mentioned, you automatically become possibly a top 4 team in this region. You probably hold on to a top 25 position. This comes down to a couple of map 5 follies. So Fortress Control up next. Must-win situation for UCF. And if so, we will see a Fortress Hardpoint and possibly Hotel Surge and Destroy. We'll send things off to just a brief break. Get ready to go for the Fortress Control when we come back. Don't go far. One more match to go. We're back. We're in it, and we're in it. We are already in the midst of our first round of Fortress Control. High Point currently up 2-0 in the series versus UCF. And, well, for UCF, it is now do or die, and it's a lot of dying going on here early. Hate to say it, as it will be High Point looking good, at least initially, to get some players through on the offense. And, well, Sexton is a problem. That does apparently not have an answer to it. Oh, my goodness! Wait a second. Oh, if he got, like, a pistol out, that would have been sick.
I was still pretty nutty play, though. He got a lot of work done. A's going over. First tick looks like it is secured, and it is. And Cruz actually got a great kind of lockdown right through mid, but now you can start to see the support coming back through. They clear up the point for a second, and Juju is able to make sure that it does stay neutral as everyone flies out, and Chris gets a good double. And now there's a chance to recover. Chris actually puts together 3, and now it's back in the blender here for High Point.
And you start to wonder, I think, if you're an avid COD fan, do we just wait until we see if there's another tick earned? Fortress Control. Which, again, the lives and the kills may allow High Point to do right here, right now. What the dolphin dive? Juju just watched that guy take a face full of asphalt. Still found a way to get one before dropping. And High Point are finding exit kills here. But 23 seconds on the clock. Epitome watching the mid-cross. This would have to be an absolute smoke show to get him off of this position. Nades deep. Second tick of progress on the way. Trophy system finally gets down, and the kills are actually there on both players that are coming through the middle of the map. Dove finally shuts down one, but an extra 60 is going to get added here, and High Point have a 6-life lead.
Yeah, they do. They can win this through lives. Look at the shots that are coming through right now. Cruz now on 4. Picks up the AR, makes it 5, and will earn the streak as well. This is not a spot you want to be in right now. If you're the Knights, I mean, he is snapping. Almost turns there for Chris. Sebi ready to pick up the same spot. Luckily won't be able to find any value as Dove cleans up 2. Still have presence out in the map, but I mean, 7 lives, 50 seconds. High Point can still very much do this.
Yeah, really clean shots here from Brewing. Oh gosh, the Knights are just giving away kills. Not what you want to see, because 12 playing 7, maybe there's a chance, but Brewing now all of a sudden with the pistol out. For a second, based on how the kills are coming, you thought maybe. But 10v3, Sebi, good to get traded, but the problem now is Sexton in the middle of Fortress. And oh my, he just body bumped Dove and put him in the dirt. And the streak came down, puzzling to say the least, but Chris, I'm sure at this point, will likely get traded. On the zone is Brewing. He's going to stop the clock, and the rest of High Point are going to go on their way, try to find this kill, which is maybe not as easy to come by as you thought. Wait a second! Hold on! He's got a knife!
Let him get it!
Oh, feels bad. Did he get this is the knife kill, last kill too? Did he come up behind him with a knife?
I'm not sure.
I heard a little shink.
That was too funny. But not funny here for the Knights, I guess, in full, right? It's a good moment for Chris, who makes a nice little play happen. More than one nice play happen, I should say. Like, right here is when they should have got put back in the blender. I mean, you can never really let a team come back out and then do what they did, right? It's a full 3-man hit right through gate, and they just basically brute force their way into the zone. They have 2 players on it for the last 2 ticks, and they just keep presence there long enough to bring home that offensive round, and that is not what you want to see here if you're the Knights.
Yep. Opening nades. Also going to tag UCF out of spawn. Chris does stay alive. Juju gets a response kill. That's not bad. Information onto Cruz. Oh, and the kill is there. Okay, so now onto the B zone goes Chris. And if there was ever somebody you wanted, it would be him. Dove trying to watch through bottom maps. High Point a bit stretched here defensively. Kind of playing 2 things at once, and neither are working out right now. Nade stuns up top. Juju able to help out, and now it's just down to can you clear this last defender on the zone? Just a commitment coming through with 2 weak of health, and Sebi's going to get all 3 from that corner position, stopping the hit and depleting the first tick.
Yeah, it always hurts. Want to try to get at least a tick, you know, when you get across like that. You don't get too many opportunities here on Fortress Control, and Sebi is just playing his life so wonderfully at the moment. 3 in a row still. Tack and sub to work with. Nade should allow the finish to come through, and it does. Dove's now down low, but there's still another. Sexton's here. He's got 2. He's got 3. Give him all 4. Looking to try to add another one to the tally as he's on 6 in a row. Should be at least 1 more kill off the streak, I would imagine.
19 and 6. There's number 20. Still not at the streak yet. I still don't know why people are running score streaks over kill streaks. But here we are, living in 2023, watching Fortress Control. Shut down off of the streak, even though he was on 7 in a row. Weird to say out loud, but the way it goes sometimes. And behind this play, High Point are getting every single kill. They just went 10 down to 21 killed. Yikes. And Brewing's now on 5. Sebi's just adding insult at the moment. I mean, oh gosh. 2-0 up High Point.
Yep. 2-0 up. Offensive round goes over, and it's hard not to feel deflated, I think, going into a round 2. But
Ooh, that was clean.
From his POV, that was very clean. My goodness. 1 to 2 to 3. Didn't look like he missed a damn bullet. Love that there out of Sebi. But it's not just him, man. It's Sexton. Like, these guys going untouched right now. I'd love to know, like, the offense versus defense, like, differential kills at the moment for him.
And they put it away in 3 with 2 offensive wins. Sexton is already bottom art. Are you kidding? That is some movement right there. Oh, red though. How about that from Juju? Okay, shuts down the immediate threat. UCF a chance to set up their defense now behind that kill. Cruz still trying to hold on to the open archway staircase. And, well, it's going to be on him to try to either stop the clock and force the defense back or help his team get out of spawn. You really can't do both. Well, you may not need the help. Sexton is on a rampage this map, but he'll be turned away. Sebi trying to follow up. 3 for 1 go the kills, and uh-oh, here comes High Point looking to make their move over towards B. Juju in trouble. Nades over the top denied by trophy system. Lots of tags, but first tick is in. Second tick on the way. No one's getting kills for UCF. That's going to be the B zone.
I think that's going to be the round in the game likely here after that. They're in the spawn. They're watching them spawn. They're going to pick them apart. There's no control. You just have no idea where they're going to be right now. It's so tough to recover from a situation like this where they get B first and they're going rogue around Art, and you're seeing why, because you just continue to spawn up and you just die over and over and over again. And this one is just about all done as Sebi looks to hunt down some more kills.
He's just red dot chasing.
Yeah.
I see your footprints. I'm on the way. Oh, boy. Oddly enough, still doable for UCF. They need to get rid of Sebi, though. That's the problem. And they are solo looking for him right now. 6 in a row. Streak earned. 19 plays 11. Chris turned away from on top of the zone. And never mind. That is the game. You're right. I mean, you got it. Okay, finally.
Well, one more tick here, Alan. That's all that's needed. One of the quicker fortress controls, I feel like. We'll see. And only 5 lives remaining. Nothing left here for the Knights. I really do believe that round 1 just completely took the wind out of the sails here for them. As streaks, I think, are being called in. People are spawning in front of Chris. He's having a good map as he is picking up kills, but only 3 lives remaining.
Yep. Only a matter of time here. I don't imagine it's going to take much more than the 58 seconds that are remaining, although Dove is giving us something to think about here. 2v10. Nope, not going to happen. I was going to say maybe it's doable, but the kills beat me to my point. So High Point take a 3-0 in the series, and after a tight map 1, it was all Panthers from there on out, including a very impressive Fortress control win. But I think you're right. It just felt like there was a moment in that search and destroy, and even more so after the first round here, where it felt like UCF just kind of maybe mentally gave up in the series.
It's tough scenes. Dove has, a couple of tough back-to-back maps as well. I mean, everyone kind of has a tough map, to be fair, on the Knights side. Chris did what he could, but only do so much with one person, Alan? Only do so much. And then you got the hands going. You got the hands going over here.
Hey,
a lot of hands, thrown out after that one. It's tough. It's tough scenes. But, hey, listen, on the bright side, High Point are looking good. And they won an S&D today, and I think there's a lot that you can take away, at least from their side.
They won a very convincing S&D today.
They did.
And again, you talk about the stock this High Point Esports roster has. Map 5 losses to just about everybody who ranks above them, except for Mars Hill is an 0-3 loss. Map 5 loss to Mox. Map 5 loss to James Madison. Map 5 loss to Newberry. The 0-3 losses to Mars Hill and University of North America, those are pretty standard for everyone in the region. So there is a realistic point here where if High Point can just be better at the search and destroy, they're taking respawns off of teams that are ranked above them in this region, and they could be a possible sleeper threat maybe for a playoff run. I mean, especially considering that the other regions, once they eventually match up, you're going to be getting kind of similar teams on the other side where the great at respawn, not so great at search. So you have a little bit of leeway there.
I love that take. I think it's very fair, man. Based off of what we've seen, there's just a lot of explosive plays kind of packed into this roster, I feel like, based off what we got. Like a lot of players kind of took turns going throughout the series, kind of all having their pop-off moments, right? Like Cruz plays really good in the S&D, 11-3. We see the ARs firing really well, at least on the map number 1, that kind of set the tone here for the series, locked in their better game mode. So love to see it. Every single player getting involved throughout multiple different map mode combinations here. I mean, that's what you're going to need versus the top teams as well. So yeah, I'd say it's looking up for these guys. And Texas finishes 29-12. I'd love to see what the actual damage was for him, because it just felt like that guy was not missing a bullet.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 908 damage in the last round, do the math, 3K damage maybe, close to it.
Sure.
That was on offense too, mind you, so.
Yeah, what were his offensive kills?
I'm pretty sure his
accurate.
whole... Yeah, they may not be accurate. I don't think they are. But
tough.
Apparently a fix is coming for that, by the way, soon.
Oh, let's go.
I've been leaked. Been leaked that. I mean, it's only about to be April, so I mean,
better late than never.
True. just in time for the last 2 months of the season. But man, High Point was convincing today. And, initially you look at UCF and you say, okay, that opening hard point was pretty solid. A couple of things go your way. You strung together 3 hard points essentially in a row. But from there on out, like we mentioned, all Panthers. So one of these days, you and I, Austin, are going to have a day full of tight college COD-cast. But so far, we've been empty on that. Remember that the first day we casted was like, it was like the first or second week of the season, and it was like number 8 versus number 10.
Yeah.
Number 11 versus number 12, and they were like all 3-0 blowouts. It was like, what
3-0s.
happened? Like, come on.
That's the way it goes sometimes, the way she goes. But, oh well, one of these days we'll get a game 5, I believe it. It's gonna happen. We got at least a lot of, well, not so much of the season left, but we got a lot of playoffs still left, so
yeah,
there could be a lot that could play out there for us. But overall, man, definitely an interesting day. Not how I expected maybe some of the matches to go, not as convincing as I had thought. But that's how it goes sometimes, especially in Modern Warfare 2, man. It can be day to day. It can be tough to be consistent.
Yeah, sometimes that's just the way it be. But tomorrow's matches should be pretty solid. Ottawa versus St. Clair, SIUE versus Michigan, and then SIUE versus St. Clair. So we've got a lot of St. Clair and a lot of SIUE as far as the anticipated schedule is at the moment. So with that, we need to say farewell on the day here. Before we shout things out, of course, big love to our sponsors, America's Navy and Fandom. And hey, you want to get more than just an education with the Navy? Check out Goats and Glory. It's the Navy's esports team, providing a platform for people to engage with sailors and learn more about the opportunity that the Navies provide while sharing a mutual passion for gaming. So if you ever want to just go hit the rank servers, maybe play a little Minecraft, other things as well. I just blanked on other titles that are out there. But you can hang out with those guys, learn more about it, and hopefully you'll be a little more inspired about trying to maybe pursue a career or an education with America's Navy. Also, love Fandom. We're going to get out of here. 11:30 at night on the dot. And with that, our season conclusion is only a mere day away. So tune in, same time, same place, mañana. We'll catch you then. Until that point, keep holding it down. Bye-bye.